Like and subscribe to the video and share it if you find it of importance. Understand this. This is not a debate. I'm not going to debate you on whether men are women, apples are oranges. I'm not going to debate you, but what I'm going to do is set you straight. I am above anyone's intelligence level if they think that men and women are the same, or apples and oranges are the same. When I go to the store to buy a bag of apples, I will not put oranges in the bag for obvious reasons. If I seek a relationship with a woman for the purpose of starting a family, I am not going to select a transvestite. I am not going to talk about the differences between men and women, apples and oranges, because that is obvious and you know it is. Ignorance is not always an absence of knowledge. Sometimes ignorance can be a choice. As you can see, when people can't understand the difference between a woman and me. I've heard arguments by people, I don't know if they were a transvestite or not, but they said that it is okay for them to go out on a date with a man and not tell him that they are a man, a transvestite. They say it is none of his business. Well, let me ask you a question. If you walk into a hairdresser and there is a person standing behind a chair, you would assume that this person is a hairdresser. If you sit in the chair and you tell them that you want a perm, would you want them fooling around with your hair and you not knowing that they're not a hairdresser? Would you think the person in the chair would have a right to know? The question is rhetorical, because if you answer they don't have a right to know, then you are just being ignorant and you know it. If you took this person to court, could they tell the judge, I identify as a hairdresser, so you have to call me a hairdresser? And what if your lawyer objects? Is the judge going to say, this person identifies as a hairdresser, so you can't call them anything but a hairdresser? If the judge says this and your lawyer has to acquiesce, your case is over. Because every time your lawyer argues that this person is not a hairdresser, this person your lawyer can be held in contempt of court, because the judge has ruled that this person is a hairdresser because they identify. So you would lose your case. And the only thing the judge, well, you should have asked. They didn't lie to you, so you should have asked. And even if you ask and they say that I identify as a hairdresser, now what? It's just like a man who takes a transvestite out on a date and he's spending large sums of money on this date. And then he finds out later on that this person is a transvestite. He doesn't get his money back. Or suppose he goes out with a woman who has children and she hides the fact from him that she has children. And he spent money on these dates. Does he get his money back? Should the hairdresser have to pay the money back that she took? You decide. Understand, when people come up with misleading ideas, they have a reason to do this. And the reason to do this is usually to take advantage of you or to take advantage of someone to fulfill their desires. An example of this is that you will find that pedophiles will seek jobs where there are children. They will volunteer to coach Little League team. They will volunteer to work with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. That's what they do. So what is the objective of a man being called a woman and a woman being called a man? The objective is to satisfy the desires of homosexuals. It is to satisfy the desires of homosexuals. Why would the Pope agree to this? Because the Vatican is full of homosexuals. That's why. It is a chance for him to come out of the closet. So they want to justify demonic insanity. The Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. Two men cannot be fruitful and multiply. Two women cannot be fruitful and multiply. Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, I suggest that you read this. And while you're at it, if you can get in contact with the Pope, have him read it as well. He is not God, and he does not make up the laws of nature. Thank you. Now understand this. Jesus is not Yahshua. Jesus is a fictional character with a mispronounced Latino name, which should be Jesus. Understand this. Now, why would they change Jesus, Yahshua's ethnicity to white, and then call this white fictional character God? It is because they want to, but then let's ask the question first. What is the purpose of Christianity? To enslave, colonize, and to take advantage of people. And they take advantage of indigenous people sexually as well. And you have to take a vow of secrecy if you are molested or raped in the church, or you will be excommunicated. And it is the same with the Khazars who created Judaism, which is not, and turned it into a religion. But to be a Jew, as we all know, is to be a Jew by blood. Now understand this. Why are they trying to teach third grade kids, 8-year-old kids, sexuality in schools? It is to fulfill the desires of homosexuals. Why are they trying to import homosexuality to Africa? To fulfill the desires of homosexuals. Christianity has made a mess of the world. A total mess. It was created by Romans. And Romans, just like the Greeks, were known for homosexuality. I am not going to debate apples and oranges with you. Like I said, all I'm going to do is straighten you out. Now, we know that Khazars are not Ashkenazi Jews. They are Ukrainians. And they are not permitted to take a DNA test the same way in the Vatican requires secrecy. They have something they want to hide. Now, if you want to call men and women, say that they're the same, you would have to be a homosexual, or you are a deluded fool. Because, like I said, I'm going to stop here because I'm not going to debate apples and oranges, what is a man and what is a woman, when it is obvious. You tell a kid the definition of a man and the definition of a woman, and the child will tell you which is which. But see, just like you have to teach racism, which is a lie, you have to also teach this, I don't know what you want to call it, this homosexual thing, in order to get children to believe it. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later.